What's up, everyone? It is Jason Jani. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm doing like a tech behind the scenes kind of tour of my latest and greatest case that I use to support my events at SCE. And if you're a DJ that's thinking about building a super duper, super boss, super tech, insane case, this video is for you. It does audio, it does media, it does streaming, and it really sets me up to do a lot of different things in a lot of different places for a lot of different reasons at SCE and for the people that trust me with their events. Real quick, if you're not familiar with who I am or this channel, it's your first time here. My name is Jason Jani. I'm a DJ, I'm a business owner. I own a company called the SCE Event Group. We do events all over this planet for some really, really cool people. And I'm sharing content here on this channel to help push our industry forward in some way, shape, or form. I'm doing my part to share my learnings, my situations, the things I've gone through as a business owner, as well as a working DJ, so that you could grow faster, you can grow better. Hopefully you could save some time, some energy, some money from making mistakes based on the things that I'm sharing with you here to make you a better DJ. And if you feel that and you are just finding this video for the first time, I would be thankful, humbled, and just incredibly grateful if you just connect with me and support the channel with some sub love below. And if you're a returning supporter, subscriber, observer, or viewer of my content, thank you for joining me once again. I appreciate you. I see you, and I try to do my part to respond to every single comment and message every single person back that takes the time to submit something to me, whether it be here on this channel or on my Instagram account. So thank you, thank you, thank you. In this video, I want to share with you the brains of the operation, a case that I've now evolved a number of different times, and I've really spent a lot of time and energy, not only building, but putting together. And it fits a lot of different event types in my world, and it checks a lot of boxes. It does audio support. So I could use this case if I'm just doing audio at a bar, at a club, at a small event. It allows me to do ceremony music incredibly well. It allows me to do things like cocktail hour if I needed to. It allows me to support sound at larger events, whether it be trade show events or conferences. It also allows me to do multimedia production services, so using screens at events. It allows me to do things like streaming. So if I have a client that's looking to stream their ceremony or their conference or their whatever they have going on, this is the case that I can use, and I can accomplish all things in one case: audio, media, as well as streaming. And I hope you find value in this. Without going any further, I've spent so much time and energy into this, and I want to walk you through this case, showing you what I'm using, how I'm using it, and I hope you enjoy it. So real quick, here's the case. Oh, that's not the case. That's not the case. That's not the case. This is the case. And that's my brand new MacBook Pro 16-inch that I'm so pumped about. I have a video coming about that really, really soon. Shout out to Apple for putting that HDMI connector on the actual computer this time around. Man, I love this computer. Anyway, here's the case. There's a lot going on in it. I'm going to kind of walk you through it. As you can kind of see, it's kind of laid out with some screens, some audio equipment, some switching equipment, and then some connectors on the bottom. This is the face of the unit. So this is what I would roll underneath something, or that I would work on during an event. Now, a lot of DJs put their cabling and all that stuff on the back, but the problem I find with that is when I go to like plug things in, or if I need to move things around during the event, you're like crawling in behind equipment. So if you can put your connections on the face of whatever rack you're using, trust me, it'll help you relieve stress when you need to switch things out when you are working. So starting at the top of the unit and kind of working down, I'm going to start at the top. And this right here these are my Elvid dual monitors. And this dual monitor rack mount system sits in a 7-space kind of allotment of my 16-space rack, and it does a lot. It allows me to preview all of the individual channels using my ATEM, and it allows me to see my master preview out as to what I'm sending either to the screens or the stream that we are managing right there. Underneath that, I've got my Shure ULXD microphone system. I'm a big fan of the Shure ULXD stuff. And right now, I think there's a shortage of some of this stuff, but these microphones are kind of expensive, but they are rock solid. They don't really encounter a lot of the frequency issues that some of the previous non-D versions of these mics actually experience nowadays due to all the frequencies being kind of sold and moved around by the FCC. These mics are super boss, and I'm actually tethering them both together using the same antennas, sending out and receiving the signal. Now, one thing about these microphones that I set up in this case, because I could use it during ceremonies or during industry kind of conference events, is this case actually has two handhelds, or the ability for me to swap one of the handhelds or both of the handhelds for two instrument pack or lav pack. So it allows me to do clip-on microphones for an officiant, handhelds for people that might be speaking, or if I'm using this at a conference and people just want to use Countryman, or they want to use just clip-on lav mics, no problem. I totally have them covered. But if they prefer handhelds, which I actually prefer a lot of the time, this case allows me to offer both options, lavs or lapel mics, as well as handheld mics. And I think that's just super dope. Now, the next part of it is the mixer. Underneath the mixer, I've got a rack mount drawer. Then I have my ATEM. I have all my Redco panels. I have my Furman Power conditioner. I have my Trip Light rack mount power strip. Now, I mentioned before the QSC TouchMix mixer, and you've probably heard me talk about this mixer for good reason. I absolutely love them. I think they are rock solid. I am not sponsored by QSC in any way, shape, or form, but this mixer is just a ninja mixer that is out and available on our market. The three main reasons why I love this mixer, and there are many more than three kind of like examples of why I love this mixer, but my three top reasons I love this mixer, not just the cool layout or the tech that surrounds it, but the first thing is you can actually bond this mixer with a router and control it remotely. So you can use an iPad, your iPhone, or another computer, and you can access this mixer using the QSC TouchMix app, and it allows you to kind of adjust the volumes without touching the mixer. So I think that's super cool. It's super tech, it's super cool, super awesome. The second thing, and the second reason why I think this mixer totally wins, is all of the different features of the mixer. Now, specifically, this mixer allows you to scan the room with the microphones you are using and identify the frequencies that could cause potential feedback when someone is using the microphones on site at an event. It isolates the frequencies, and then you can remove the frequencies, which allows you to bring the mic levels hotter or stronger, and the gain louder, so that the speaker will not cause that dreadful kind of like scratching, that piercing sound that comes from feedback when they're not using the microphone properly, or if they step away from it and you're trying to chase the sound and it's actually catching the sound in the room and you're getting that feedback kind of thing. This mixer allows you to identify and remove it. And I think that is so dope. And the third reason why I absolutely love this mixer above everything else is all of the different inputs, but also outputs on the mixer. So you get a total of 8 inputs in, and you get a number of inputs out that you can control individually. So you can set up different levels out to send to different places if you have multiple zones at an event. I like to have 2 lines on my output, not just for my main left and right, but 2 additional lines set up for cinema or video. So it's pre-run cables with XLR and 1/4 inch, so that I don't have to mess around with cinematographers' cables that are coming up to me at the last minute. I have everything there. Everything's tested. Everything works. I know it's bulletproof, and they have access to this super easy because the cables are already run. It saves me like a half a step when sometimes it's like the most inconvenient time to start plugging things in and testing sound levels and stuff like that. There are so many cool features of this, but in addition to that, I have a booth. I could do different zones. You can actually delay the signal to other areas if you might have a far distance in between, so that you're not getting that slapback or that rattle where sound is not lining up properly. This mixer is so dope, and I'll do like a full review on this mixer one day, because I think there's probably like 20 reasons why this mixer is a no-brainer for DJs if they are really serious about their craft. But I absolutely adore this mixer. I think it's super cool. It's low profile, just looks sexy, looks tech, and it's awesome. But underneath the mixer, we have a 2-space drawer where I keep actually my mics, I keep my lavs, and I keep all supporting equipment that I could use for media, like certain connectors that are one-offs or whatever, batteries and stuff all go in there. Underneath that, I have the brain from the visual, from the media, from the streaming part of my setup. And this is the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, and it's made by Blackmagic. And this right here is the best switcher for the money. I think it allows you to do so many different things. And in the past, I always used Kramer products to switch my signal. This, though, I've discovered the smaller version through the pandemic when we were doing streaming projects, and I just have come to love the ATEM kind of suite of switching products by Blackmagic. And this is their Cadillac, this is their Mercedes. It allows you to do 8-in, 2 HDMI outs, as well as 2 USB-C outs, so you can actually hook this up to a hard drive and record individual lines or the full switched program to an actual solid state drive that you can connect to this. You can actually connect this unit to a computer and bond it with a platform like Ecamm, which I'm a big fan of, and it allows you to do virtual switching and so much more. And it really allows you to take your streaming as well as your media services to a whole nother level. I've got a big kind of thing I can do on this one day as well, video on this one product, because I think it's a game changer. And if you're not familiar with it, this is one that you should really just Google, check out. There's a ton of videos on this on YouTube, but I think it's a must-have if you take your media presentations or media projects seriously. And you don't actually have to go into the ATEM Mini Extreme. You could do the ATEM Mini ISO, you could do the ATEM Mini. I have one in my home office where I'm actually streaming this from. I use them everywhere. I think they are just so easy and so clean, and they're just awesome to use. Anyway, this piece of equipment does so much. Now from that, I'm actually showing what all of the inputs are into the ATEM on this one screen. And I'm actually showing on the next screen what's going out to everywhere that we're sending the signal to. So if I was streaming, this is what you would see, and that's actually coming from my laptop up above. Now, if I was sending this to plasma screens or LED screens or a video wall, you would see that right there. And if you were to send it out into a stream, you would see that as well. Now, to complete what's going on in this case, I have a red co-patch panel up top, and that right there is for all of my media ins, HDMI in to the ATEM platform. I have little jumpers that kind of connect to the backside of the ATEM unit. Underneath that, where you see these 2 blue dots, that's actually an HDMI distributor that I found on Amazon for less than $200. It does 1-in, 8-out HDMI, so it allows me to send my HDMI signals to another 8 sources going out of my kit, which is just awesome. 8 different screens, maybe another distributor, and sending it out to more screens. It allows you to do so much. Underneath that, I've always used Furman Power conditioners because I think they are rock solid. I've never had an issue with that. Underneath the Furman Power conditioner, I've got this really cool Rackmount Power strip courtesy of Trip Light. And this is really cool. And I put this on the front of my racks because sometimes I work with a cinematographer that needs to plug in their recorder. Sometimes I work with a live musician that has to plug in their instrument pack or their microphone kit or something. This allows me to have a number of outlets pre-run, ready to go. If someone needs to charge their phone, whatever, it happens here. They don't have to dig into the back of the rack. They don't have to touch other power sources around my DJ booth. This is where we provide power to everyone that needs it for like small items. Underneath that, I have another Redco panel, and this is for all of my audio. Now, if I flip around, this is what the back of the rack looks like. All of my cables going into the QSC TouchMix are color coded so that I can find them on the, in the event that something's going wrong, we can check to make sure that things are plugged in properly and everything is working. Color-coded cables are a big deal, and they help troubleshoot things when there's an issue. Another Furman Power conditioner underneath here. I'm actually repurposing an old Apple wireless router, and I'm using that exclusively for my TouchMix mixer. But this right here is the back of the rack. You can see it's fairly clean. There's not a lot of stuff going on in it. And I set it up that way so that in the event that there's something that's going on in my kit, I have the ability of looking in there. I don't have to like futz around with a million different things to get to the pieces of equipment that are working or operating, whether it be audio or video, and I can look at the lines coming in and out, and I can see either maybe something unplugged, or maybe I need to push this, or maybe we need to swap a cable, whatever. Everything is color coded to make it easy in the event that we have to troubleshoot. Now, this is the brain of my operation, and this rack has taken me a long time to build. If you have any questions about the equipment in the rack, or anything for that matter, I'd love to hear from you. So just drop down below, throw a comment in. If you enjoyed the video, you learned something from the video, or you just kind of appreciate what I'm doing in this case, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, and be on the lookout for more content dripping right here on this channel in the days, weeks, and the months ahead. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching.